Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Football Exponential podcast. Today, we're joined by our lovely friend, our European football expert, Kingsley.
Hello, guys. Welcome again to another edition of the show.
Yeah. So it's been a very quiet few days on the football front with international football. I'm sure you feel like me. We're all glad to see uh, club football back this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been quiet. The international competitions, or should I say, the international games, haven't come up with as much excitement. At least my point of view, as I've come to see in other kind of international break. Maybe it's because we're just coming off some important tournaments, Copa America,
Yeah.
Euro. We had Olympics. It just feels like there've been too many national football going on to be having the international break too soon. And then, so right now, everybody has been staying tuned to see what happens in club football with a lot of exciting matches coming up, a lot of things going around Europe, and I agree with you. It's a good time to be alive as a football fan, and it's an exciting
Yeah.
weekend to look out for.
Yeah, and I think like personally, my problem with international break most times it comes at just the wrong time when the transfer window just closed. Some exciting transfers have happened. You're looking forward to see the your football teams get into business. It's just getting to that nice stage of okay, you've played 3 games so far. Okay, let's go again. Then stop international break. Everyone goes away. Some players as a topic we'll talk about, some players go away. Some important players for the clubs go away and they come back injured, and that's a discussion that's going around with football these days. Where is there too much football? Are there too many games? How do players player welfare and such? I believe we'll talk about that at some other point. But I think right now we're just focusing on the injury to a certain player, the Norwegian playmaker, Arsenal captain Martin Odegaard. What are your thoughts on that?
It was absolutely discomforting to watch. Other guys are a very exciting player every time
Yeah.
he's on the ball. And then to see him, go out in such a manner, to see that kind of injury, especially with a big weekend coming for Arsenal this weekend. And then also with, the ambition for the Norwegian national team to, try to be more competitive. It was just a big interruption because personally I wanted to see how he's going to, you know, that partnership with the two Norwegian strikers in the building right now. But
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just very disappointing. And I mean, the least we can do is wish that he comes back as soon as possible to add more flair to the Arsenal team. But it's part of what comes with international football.
Yeah, I also feel it's part of what comes with football. Players get hurt, players get injured all the time, but it comes at the for Arsenal, from Arsenal perspective, it comes at the wrong time for them because it feels the next few weeks for Arsenal it could be make or break in terms of their aspirations for the title because I believe they have the next after this weekend they play Man City again away. I believe in 2 weeks or next weekend. So it's a period where you can't be losing you can't be losing players as important as Martin Odegaard to the team, especially a player where I feel Arsenal don't really have
Cover for.
they don't exactly have cover or they don't have a player with that similar profile in terms of a playmaker in midfield with the energy, the pressing, and the creativity and the control he brings to that team. But it's a very tough one for Arsenal to take, especially going into this weekend's game. They're not on the derby, and it feels like Arsenal are missing. They're missing two players out of the Premier midfield. Declan Rice is also suspended as well, so it feels a bit shaky for Arsenal. But I feel it's like most derbies. Most derbies are. It's a game that we all go into these games with our pretty much expectations, but the games normally tend to go elsewhere than what people expected. But I feel Arsenal should be confident in what they're building and how far they've come from a club that's been a very to be frank a very bad team in this kind of games, the big games
Hmm.
against Tottenham away,
Hmm.
where you go to Tottenham, you go to Etihad, you go to Old Trafford, you don't get results. Most times you get spanked and you get trashing, and it's quite demoralizing for the fan base. But I feel they should go there with their heads with good expectation, like if you believe this team can win the title, these are the games they should be coming off. They should coming up with 3 points, regardless of injuries or form or suspensions and whatnot. So I think we'll talk about the game in depth, but it's good to also touch on the players that gone off international break and came back injured. Another one is Man City's Nathan Ake, who it seems has been reported is going to be out for it's going to be out till October. So
Yeah.
that's that's a bad one to take. But with on the football side with Man City, I just feel it's like they already have it's like Man City had this thing where they just have suitable replacements for certain players off the bench. You can just come in. You have Stones can come back into the lineup and a different and Pep can always configure the team in a different way. Probably play Bruno Bernardo Silva left back if it feels like it for a weekend or two
Yeah.
to shake things up. But it's tough. So let's talk about the game everyone's looking forward to this weekend, and that's the Tottenham Arsenal North London derby. It's in recent years I feel it's a game that's taken more importance in the Premier League scope in terms of the outcome of the game. Two teams either going for fighting for um, fighting for superiority on the home ground front. Two neighbors fighting for bragging rights, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And in recent years, we've seen them pitted against each other, fighting for top four positions in the Premier League.
Mm-hmm.
Tottenham not so much going for titles or whatnot, but it's a game that means a lot to people in that area and to the fans far and wide. And I feel, in my opinion, it's one of the best games, or this fixture is one of the best, provides or produces some of the best Premier League games in recent years. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah, no, I absolutely agree. Just going down memory lane, I've attended, I've attended in person some of those North London derby games, and both at White Hart Lane and both at Emirates Stadium, and it's always a very eventful and packed
High scoring game as
footballing
well.
festivities. Yes, and there's always going to be goals.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
don't remember the last time we had a goalless
Goalless draw.
encounter there. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
neither can I.
like exactly. And then if you think about it, both coaches kind of would always go for the goal. I don't anticipate that that will change. However, I'm curious to see the flexibility that Arteta would bring to his formation this weekend, given that, like you rightly mentioned, Declan Rice and other guy out from the midfield is a big piece that will be missing. And I'm really curious to see what are the alternatives there. Would there be more faith in Thomas Partey? What's going to happen? And this kind of piggybacks to the conversation that we've had before, right? At the start of the season, is Arsenal squad depth solid enough to be
Yeah,
challenging
yeah.
for title? Are they, reinforcing where they should? Are they overloaded in certain part of the field and very light on the others? And I think if we can scratch back to that edition of the show, you would see that. We had mentioned that the Odegaard position is one of which that they didn't
Odegaard.
strengthen,
Yeah,
and
Odegaard and
then
Saka.
exactly Odegaard and Saka didn't strengthen that position and didn't have to. So if I think about it like from a footballing point of view in terms of formation and tactics and what Arteta had done in the past and what he would try to do um, in this game, I I can only point to one direction. I expect Arsenal would go up there with a different formation. I expect that they wouldn't be looking to replace Odegaard with just another player on the squad, like a like for like kind of thing. I expect them to try to adapt to the abilities of the players available for this game. And also, it's a good and a bad thing because if this happened, like say the week after, right, then Tottenham would also have a week in hand to prepare and be able to look at those holes and try to exploit it. But it's just kind of also happening with Tottenham players also returning from international break yesterday, and they have very limited days to prepare as well. So it might be challenging for the strategic part of Tottenham's attack to go on and exploit the space that will
Okay.
be there with the absence of Odegaard and also the cleanup for Declan Rice. I feel like Declan Rice's position, nothing against the player, he's a very solid and important player to the Arsenal club, but I feel like his position is less of a problem to get a cover up for a game or two as opposed to Odegaard.
Oh, just a quick question. So, who do you feel will be a bigger miss for Arsenal in this game, this specific game, on the weekend, between
100%
Rice
is
and
Odegaard.
Odegaard? Odegaard.
100% is Odegaard because that transition from defense to attack. and defense splitting pass is what I think would make a difference for Tottenham. I expect Tottenham to be overloaded in attacking certain areas of the pitch, and you need somebody to unlock that with as minimal touch as possible. And bear in mind that Arsenal do not really have an ever blazing striker right now that is giving a guarantee to give goals. So
Can I have
you,
it?
well, I'm not gonna butter your bread today, Frank. But
No, 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 because I just asked the question. It's just
yeah, no,
like
but
like so
if
far, Havertz he has 3 games played, 2 goals, 2 goals, 1 assist. It's okay. It's okay. It's nothing
no,
special,
so
but it's
Kai
okay.
Havertz is that player to me that it wouldn't matter if at the end of the season Kai Havertz has 30 goals and 30 assists. It just doesn't pass the eyeball test for me as a footballer. Uh,
You're singing my favorite song. You're singing my favorite song.
so because this game
Okay.
is interesting, so I'll give you an example. I think it was a game that I watched. Maybe it was Real Madrid's game where there was just a layoff on a free kick. There was a layoff from I think it's Rodrigo or someone, just a tap on the ball, and then Valverde smashed the free kick
Ravede,
and it's
yeah,
a goal,
yeah,
right? And
yeah. I remember that.
you go start wise, you see it's an assist for Rodrigo,
Yeah,
and then it's a goal for Valverde.
yeah.
So if you go by that, Kai Havertz having 2 goals, 3 assists, and all that. I mean, it's impressive.
He becomes a creative player. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
So,
exactly. I know.
on paper, it comes across that, oh, he has numbers, he's creative, but the reality is that really the case when you watch
I
that game.
agree. I agree.
So,
But like you said, but in terms of the question, I feel is the for me it's the other way around, and I feel especially in this game against this Tottenham team that's a very that that I would say they're quite easy to play against, but they give away goals easily. And if I remember the last fixture last season, Arsenal won by 3 goals to 2. Arsenal, two of those goals were from corner kicks, an own goal and a goal from Kai Havertz, I believe. So I feel it's a situation where on the day Arsenal are probably going to miss Declan Rice's energy in midfield because Tottenham are very fast attacking team. They move the ball quickly. They're very aggressive and very intentful team in terms of how they set up to attack. So I feel, especially with the likes of Jorginho and Thomas Partey probably potentially coming to midfield, where I feel they're a bit they don't have the legs in that midfield to cope with the likes of James Maddison or Bissouma or Kulusevski, those kind of players that play with quick tempo. So I feel this might be one of those games where I feel Arsenal can win the game by not playing particularly well. You can just counter Tottenham, beat Tottenham, and they probably give a chance on the counter attack with Saka, Martinelli, or Sterling if he starts today, and Havertz can do some Havertz stuff and get a goal or assist or something like that, and set pieces as well. So I feel I believe they might miss Declan Rice more because it brings a lot to them in terms of running, pressing, energy, covering a lot of ground, tackling, and all that. That's his specialty. But it's an interesting one. But in your opinion, how would you, if you're Arteta right now, how would you set up Arsenal on the day in terms of the lineup and the personnel you could bring into the team?
so just to first of all address the midfield shake-up that needs to happen. I think if I were Arteta, I wouldn't have 2 attacking midfielders like I traditionally would. I would
Yeah,
revert and have it more like a double pivot or something
double
like
pivot
that,
then.
and then have a CAM to supplement the attack. And the reason why I would do that, like you mentioned, Tottenham is a very quick transition team, especially when they're going forward. It's one-touch football. They have the energy to run around in the midfield. They're going to outpace you, outwork you in that middle of the pack, given the players that you have as an Arsenal team right now. But if you have Jorginho and Thomas Partey complement each other and more like that sitting
Really?
sitting not too adventurous kind of midfield. You can leverage Jorginho's ability to be calm on the ball
Yeah,
to kind of
yeah.
ease the
Control the
pressure, to
game. Yeah,
slow the game down if need be, and then also you can rely a little bit on Thomas Partey to be more mobile. He's not the fastest, but at least he covers ground if needs be. So it's
yeah,
a knowing that also he has not played a lot of football this season.
yeah.
I expect him to still be fresh. I expect him to still have some energy to cover more ground, and then
That makes sense.
exactly. So then when going forward a little bit in the attack from the central attacking midfield point of view, you can then think of, in my opinion, I feel like this is an opportunity to bring Kai Havertz a little bit back into
So
that position.
as the
Yeah,
number 10. So
yeah,
you're saying so Caraves as the number 10, then the midfield pivot of Thomas Partey and Jorginho.
exactly.
Okay,
Then attack you can go with either Sterling, Saka, and Trossard, or you can go with Martinelli, Trossard, and
okay,
Saka. You can
okay,
do that as well. So there's possibility to do any of those, right? And then allowed for more fluid, interchange of positions between whether we're playing that 9/false 9 and Kai Havertz, and then you keep the flank pretty much stretched out wide with the pace of Saka and Sterling, or the pace of Saka and Martinelli.
okay. Yeah, I think I feel that would be the the safer option.
Yeah,
Would you agree that would be the safer option and
yeah,
the
because
more
the funny
straightforward
thing,
option to go to?
ex exactly, because right now Arsenal are not in a position to be overly adventurous, because
Yeah, yeah,
right now there's the gap between Man City and Arsenal is still 2 points, I believe. Um, yeah, I think, yeah, it's 2 points at the moment, and any blip in this game would definitely start looking at 4 points or 5 points, depending on how the
yeah.
game goes. And if you give Man City a 5 point advantage at this point of the season, I mean, in December it's probably be a wrap.
Okay.
So I really
Yeah,
think that
yeah.
that's a safe option to go with.
Especially if you have to go to the Etihad this month as well. So
Exactly.
that's a tough proposition. But but I I somewhat agree with your reasoning with your proposed lineup and personnel. But I personally, if I was at it, I would go with another option, and that would
Mm-hmm.
be I'll keep I'll keep certain principles or certain structures of the team. That's two wingers. I'll keep Havertz as the number 9 because I like how he can always double up as an extra midfielder if need be, in terms
Mm-hmm.
of either build up or when you're defending. So but what I would do is I'll bring Bukayo Saka into midfield.
Hmm.
I'll bring Saka into midfield because I believe that's the position he's played for. He's played for Arsenal a lot of times in the earlier parts of Arteta's tenure when the team wasn't quite settled, the team was still finding their way. He's played on. I believe he's a fantastic player, so he can play that position. And also, I'll bring him into midfield just to also give you more legs and energy in that midfield, and to also counteract how Tottenham set up because they always like to set up in this 3-2 shape where the fullbacks come into midfield. Then that I feel will give Tottenham an extra problem to deal with. That okay, how do we handle Saka? Not out wide, but how do we handle Saka through the middle? And that will be an interesting solution to have. So I'll go with Saka in midfield, Partey and Jorginho in the middle as well. And another aspect also to also think about is the Dutch left back Julian Timber. So far, this is always inverted from left back into midfield, and I believe
Mm-hmm.
this would be this might be one of a very key game for him in the Premier League where he either shines as one of Arsenal's
Mm-hmm.
main actors going forward, or not, or sure there's still levels to go, or there's still work to
Mm-hmm.
be done. Because I think he's a very composed player, he's a very technical footballer. He
Yeah.
brings a lot of
Yeah.
athleticism into the midfield as well. So to just also try to compensate for Declan Rice's absence, but I'll go with Saka in the middle, Jorginho and Thomas Partey
Mm-hmm.
as along with him, and obviously Timber inverting or the Benjamin White inverting. But I'll have Martinelli out wide for his space because Tottenham will always play in the high line.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be lots of space a lot of space to attack. Just beyond the back line, I'll go Martinelli on the left wing, and I'll give a debut to Chelsea Loney, Raheem Sterling on the right wing because I
Hmm.
feel this is a game for a player like Sterling, a big game where you have to. Big games are meant for big players, so I feel this is a game he'll be looking forward to. He's had a long he wasn't he's had a few not a holiday because he had preseason with Chelsea, but he hasn't played in almost I feel he hasn't played in almost a month. But I'll give him a run out. I feel like we've seen from clips from Arsenal training this past week where he looks sharp in training. He's a lot of quick finishes, pace. It looks like Sterling. So I'll start Sterling on the right wing, Martinelli out wide, and can have us in the middle, and just we try and keep it as like I said before. Tottenham are a team that can always they always find a way to kill themselves. They could dominate from start to finish, but they will always give you a chance, or they don't take their chances, and that's an issue with Tottenham so far under the new coach and where they don't really they create a lot of chances, but they don't generally finish they don't finish their dinners. So I feel Saka should. I believe Saka. I won't be surprised if Saka comes centrally and Sterling goes wide, or Trossard comes in centrally as the false nine and Havertz goes into midfield. So I
Mm.
believe either of those two situations would play will play out.
Well,
Yeah.
I agree that that might be a good experiment to try, but the only concern I would have, and especially if I were to counter attack that formation, would be that with Saka going in the middle, he barely gives the ball away impressively for a winger.
Yeah.
Right, but his trademark, finessing the ball from, you know, from the right corner to the bottom left or to the bottom right.
Yeah, yeah,
He would miss that as well. And also, the problem with that is if you have Saka come in the middle, right, you need intricate passing. You need people that can, help him exploit that space, and
yeah.
you wouldn't be having a lot of
I
that.
feel Jorginho can on if Jorginho has one of his better days, I feel he can find those incisive passes to find the attacking players in the final third and get and start attacks. And also there's also the option to also you can always go long against Tottenham because they will leave massive space to defend
Yes.
against. So it's a tough one, but I feel this is a game. And let's shift to the Tottenham side of this equation. Well, I feel this is a game where, especially with this manager, I don't feel Tottenham. They've not had that moment under this coach where you say, okay, you know what, this club is going. They had a fantastic start to last season, but after the Chelsea game, it just went
Yeah, it
it
just
started going
went
downhill.
down. Yeah.
And I feel he comes across as a very ambitious coach. He speaks a lot about winning, trying to bring a winning mentality to Tottenham, challenge for titles, challenge for cups, have a team that's always trying to challenge higher up the table. But I feel, and my problem with him so far, Tottenham has always been more structural problems where he's Tottenham. They always that they're not easy to play. They're not easy to play against. They're very tough team to play against. But when you play against them, you just sort of have to ride the wave of their attack. They will get because they start fantastic, they start against fantastically. And if the first 20 or first 15 minutes, if they can't score a goal, that's when that's
The
when cracks
momentum
start to show.
changes. Yeah.
Exactly, and you can then they start taking more risk as the game goes on, and with more risk they take, they don't really cover themselves at the back in terms of defensive cover or structural covers for their defense. They're a very easy team to transition on because they always this you have
Yeah,
fullbacks
because
coming
there are
to
two
midfield.
fullbacks already committed in midfield. There's
Exactly.
Partey,
So
there's space on the right.
they're a team that if you're going up against it, you know, okay, you know what, we can get something today. If we play our game right and we take our moments, we can get something either from open play, especially set pieces. I believe set pieces this season they've been a bit better, but it's just 3 games so far. But I know last season they
They were
gave a
very
rule of
poor.
goals on set pieces. So it will be, but I feel they need this moment. They need to capitalize on this, regardless of who's fit for Arsenal or who's suspended. This is a game that if you win this game, or if not, if you win this game, because I feel they have to win this game. But if you win this game, it takes you get that high, you get that momentum from it where you just won the North London derby. That can set the trajectory for your season. I know it's still early
Hmm.
on, but it's a game where if they don't get a positive result and a good performance, it can just go okay. Same with Tottenham. They're not. They don't look ready. They can't compete. They're not. It's still the same as always. So it's all there. All those old cliches start coming back. It's Tottenham, it's Spurs. It's the spirit of Tottenham,
Exactly.
like Jojo Cleaning said. So I feel Tottenham they need to take, and this is where I'm looking at players like I'm looking at three players specifically. Captain Son, Madison, and centre back Romero as well. Where these are games where in the past Romero has been very, I would say 50-50 in terms of his performance. Sometimes good,
Yeah. Sometimes very
sometimes good,
flawed,
sometimes maybe shit.
sometimes very appalling. Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel this is where he has to, because like on the other side, you see Saliba. Saliba is what a world-class centre back should look like in terms of his performances, his control, how he reads the games, his tackles, interceptions, and all that is the full package. And I feel Romero he has all the tools in his box, but he can't quite get those performances consistently the way Saliba has done in the past. Because Saliba has been doing so far. We can point to the system not helping him to be more consistent in terms of defending, but I just feel this is the game where you have to dominate this game against an Arsenal team, against the Havertz, no Odegaard, no Declan Rice. You dominate the game, and the attacking players, Madison, Son, you need to take your chances. You need to create good chances. Because I don't know, like my opinion about Madison is well documented. I don't necessarily feel it's in that class with the likes of Odegaard, Palmer's, or De Bruyne's, and even Bruno Fernandes, for example, where he he goes missing for large parts of the season and large parts of individual games where his influence in those games are nowhere to be found. So I'm looking at those three players, Romero, Son, and Madison, to actually give more and push Tottenham over the line. But it's as always, I feel it's going to be an exciting game. I believe it's going to be a high scoring game, and I'm looking forward to it. Do you have any thoughts on Tottenham or how they should set up and
Yeah, so I saw an impressive start about Romero, and it's impressive and it's also very mind-boggling. And here's why I think so. So for central back to be the one that has covered the most grounds, I think in the whole of Europe last year, it's disturbing. So if
also to also point like he missed a lot of games last season as well.
exactly, but yet he covered the most ground in terms of
Yeah, that's
those who
yeah.
started out. So that's really that shows you that there's a space to be exploited when you're playing against Tottenham because if he's bumping forward or if he's doing something out of position, if you're very strategic, and that's why I feel like um, the timing of Odegaard's injury is really bad for Arsenal because these are games that he thrives off. These are games where he once the centre back is out of position, he can
You
pick
can
that
find those
pocket and he can
passes.
release those passes. But um, that is going to be a big concern for Tottenham. I like the Van Hecken, if I pronounce his name properly,
Van
um,
de Ven.
Van no Van der Wijk. Yeah.
Van de
So
Ven.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I like his qualities for Tottenham. I like the
yeah.
fact that he's a good supplement to what Romero is in terms of covering and staying on the back. He's very athletic. I think he's probably one of the fastest
He's probably one of
centre
the
back
fastest players
in the Premier
probably
League,
no,
right?
just I think he's one of the fastest players in Premier League.
Exactly. So
Just yeah, so
So if he can cover back when Romero is committed and gone out of position, my concern still remains in the right back position for Tottenham. That
Pedro
is
Porro,
where um, Parra plays right back, sorry, left back position for
left back,
Tottenham.
Udoji.
Udoji. So
Really?
that is still my concern, right? Because the thing is, he he's ambitious when he goes forward, but he's not productive with those forward runs. And then
Yeah,
also his defense when he broke in to the squad, I think it was last season or the
yeah.
season before last. It was
Last season.
it was last season. It was pretty solid in terms of what he could offer when he goes forward.
Yeah,
Not in terms of high number, but the pace, the heavy press, the early press, the pressure on
yeah.
and before the ball goes out. But over time, he that part of his game keeps deteriorating, and yeah, and that is why I question Saka's commitment to go in the midfield if you go that way because he's supposed to be having a field day with Udoji giving him that space to operate
Yeah,
through,
true,
right?
true.
But that being said, that is where I have the most concern for Tottenham. Like the midfield is not too much of a concern right now. Not that it's amazing, but it's going to get the job done. But the back line is where, as a Tottenham
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
supporter,
I
I
agree.
would be worried. I'll be
Yeah, because
worried.
it's Tottenham not a team that you can rely on for a clean sheet in games like this,
No,
where there are certain things you're like, okay, if not necessarily even a clean sheet, but you can concede one, and that'll be. But with Tottenham, it's of a couple goals most times, where
yeah.
even a game like, because I've watched some of their games so far this season. The game against their first game against Leicester City,
Mm-hmm.
where the first half they absolutely battered Leicester City. So Leicester City couldn't get out of the half. They couldn't spring passes together. The press was good. They were creating chances for fun. But you go in at halftime, one nil, come back and soccer punch. Jamie Vardy, soccer punch, 1-1, and from there you just I feel the best way to put it is like they're like a boxer that just like whenever they get punched, they don't know how to get back up. That's it.
Exactly.
If you get that soccer punch or you get that early goal against them, they just don't know how to run. They don't just know how to pick themselves up and go again. I don't know if it's the mental toughness or if it's just Tottenham or if it's a young squad with the coach. It just feels very fragile. It's
Yeah,
very
no.
exciting. No, like they're very exciting to me to watch because I feel like most times they create, they attack, they play the right way, but it just for a team that has the aspiration the coach has this in terms of challenging for titles, cups, and European places, they're just
Mm-hmm.
too fragile for my liking, be it from open play and set pieces. But it's going to be interesting. Do you have a score prediction for our
Yeah,
listeners?
yeah. I believe it's going to be a high scoring draw.
Okay, a
I don't
draw.
see it. Yeah, it's a high scoring
Okay,
draw. To be honest, I don't see a winner in this game. My prediction will be a 2-2.
2-2.
Yeah, 2-2 at best
Yeah.
minimum. It can end up being 3-3. And the reason why I'm saying that is, I know it sounds weird because Arsenal don't tend to concede a lot of goals, but I feel like Arsenal would have a slow start to the
Yeah,
game.
there could be that. I feel that uncertainty in terms of who's coming into midfield, the personnel, the tactic, that could also affect their stats. Well, first of all, I'll go for this. But this is one of those games where, like, as a Chelsea fan, I just hope both teams lose. So if that's so whatever that looks like, I'll take it. But well, okay, but seriously, I feel Tottenham will win this game. I feel they'll win it by 3 goals to 2. I see the captain Son having a good game, like some probably a goal or two. And Madison, I've like I talked about expecting them to show more, take control of the game, lead the team. I feel those two players would be the standard players for Tottenham today, where either creating or scoring goals or just over an overall good performance. So I feel Tottenham get this game, or Tottenham take this game by 3 goals to 2.
Yeah, no, it's a close one. We'll see. But I'm more excited to watch the game, to be honest.
Okay. So, moving on, and just for our listeners, if you like the content and what you see on the page, can you kindly like, subscribe, follow, and leave comments down below. Any questions or any suggestions, any topics you'd like us to cover, that would be appreciated. So, moving on. So, it's just what other game are you interested in, or what other games are you interested in this weekend, or what game catches your eye in Premier League or European football this weekend?
If it's in Premier League, hmm, I think, to be honest, I'm curious to see what Everton and Aston Villa will look like this weekend.
Okay.
I want to see if Watkins is gonna get out of his struggles.
Oh,
Uh,
well, for my fantasy team, I need that for my fantasy team. I need it, so it's about time. And especially with reports. I don't know if our listeners play the fantasy league game, but especially with reports that Haaland might be rested for or might have compassionate leave for this weekend. Yeah, I think there's a death among his close circle, so that will be interesting to monitor. But yeah, Aston Villa, Everton. That's did I surprise you with the Hala news?
no, 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 because the thing is, like, I feel like if it were last season, Pep would say, "Go on, have a pass, go see,
Yeah,
get a day off because there'll be Julian Alvarez and everything." But I don't think coming back international break, Pep wants to be
yeah,
risking the momentum that the team is
true,
building.
true. But
Um,
but also like I said, like I feel that that could go either way. But I'm also like, yeah, I understand there's a debt in there's a but it's not. Sorry to say, but it's not. You know, someone trying to say it's not.
I get it. I get it.
If
I
you
believe
understand,
I'm
just say
viewers
like
will
we
get it
have
as well.
come on, we understand it, but we have we have a game. We need it for only 2 hours, 2 hours. We need it on match day 2 hours, 2 hours. After that you can go. Then I can give you a rest. I can give you a rest in midweek. Then you can do what you're doing. But Premier League, especially this weekend, you need to because I feel what Aston City are trying to it's also like interesting. Like Pep said after the last match week before the international break, he said he referred to the first 3 games so far
Yeah,
as
as a
preseason.
favorite season. Yeah,
He said like,
exactly.
okay, preseason is over now, and that's even the idea of that is for the Premier League. It's crazy, it's scary, and
Yeah,
it can come across as one of those things Pep Guardiola says, but it's in reality I feel it looks that way because we've seen players we haven't seen Rodri this season. We've seen very little of Kyle Walker. We've seen very little
yeah,
of John Stones,
yeah.
and
Phil
even the
Foden.
best player from last season, Phil Foden, has barely. He had 45 minutes against Chelsea. He has some cameo appearances so far, but he has barely started. He hasn't started a game yet this season. So that prospect is very, very, very scary. So,
And don't
yeah,
forget they've got Gundogan back as well. Like
exactly.
it,
So, exactly.
so
There's just more. So, Man City are against Brentford. So, good luck to Brentford. Good luck. It's good luck to Brentford. But in terms of games, I'm looking forward to the Southampton Manchester United game because that's the first game back from international break. Early kickoff.
mm.
Manchester United on the All Eyes on Me slot. Uh,
With
yeah,
all of the Ronaldo podcast going on through the
yeah.
international
There's
break.
a lot. There's a lot of narrative going on around United, and this is one of those games where I feel like I spoke about with Tottenham and Ange. I feel with Eric Ten Hag, this is a game where okay, you've had what you've had so far in the season. It's a bit unlucky or good or bad. That's gone. But now business has to start. You have the transfer window has closed. You've made your signing. Signings can come into the team now. They can have impacts on the team. I feel this is where you say, okay, you know what, we go from here. And
Yep,
I feel from as in if the match like think like a Manchester United fan, I would expect this game to be a good win, a convincing win. Not
but
because we
Southampton is
know
at home, right?
Southampton at home, yeah.
Mm.
So it's you're going away to a newly promoted team. I know Southampton they have Premier League history, but I would expect United to go there, show authority, dominate the game, create chances, be solid at the back defensively, and ultimately get 3 points. But with more, I know the points are obvious, but I feel the performance needs to be comprehensive. It needs to be something where United fans or even people that watch football can say, okay, you know what, this is it. This is what Eric Ten Hag is building. This is what United are building toward. This is the performance. This is where you expect, okay, this is what we look like. In terms of players like the late, who I believe he had a torrid international break
Yeah,
with the Netherlands.
I think
And
it was
players like
subbed
who,
off, and yeah,
yeah, was subbed over halftime against Germany, which is wasn't
was in shreds.
because I saw the game where he wasn't that bad, but I just feel one of those games where I feel personally in terms of I feel the manager doesn't really like
It's not,
delete that much. I just feel it's
yeah,
that one of those situations where you're looking for
easy
okay,
target.
exactly. Like Zanita, I don't really trust him. I don't really believe in him. Okay, he's made a mistake. Okay, yeah, take him out, and I'll give another another person another look at. But I feel United Southampton will be the game. It's the game I'm looking forward to on Saturday. So I expect a solid performance from United. But if they don't get it and Southampton get a result, I'll take it. I'll take it.
My goodness, yes. I waited for
I'll
that
take it. Okay,
all
I'll take it.
podcast long. I
So,
waited for that.
I think that's all covered for this quick, not quite a full Premier League preview. We just touched on a few games. But do you have any other points you'd like to add before we go?
Yeah, no, I'm curious to see what the audience think about the Tottenham Arsenal game.
Yeah.
I'm also curious to see, what the tactics would play out. I think it's going to be a pretty exciting um, weekend of Premier League football overall. I mean, I feel like the way you think about it, I feel like the features are carefully selected to allow the bigger teams come back into their rhythm. If you ask me, there's nothing crazy for Liverpool, nothing crazy for Man City,
Yeah,
nothing crazy
not
for
for
even for
even for
Chelsea. It's not a bad feature as well.
well, with Chelsea these days, we don't know what is crazy because there's a lot of crazy going around Chelsea, so we don't really know
No,
what's crazy anymore.
yeah,
It
I
could
know, but
something,
it could be worse. Like you guys could be playing a United, or you guys could be playing a Tottenham this weekend, and
yeah,
something
but
just goes.
with Chelsea personally, I feel more confident with the bigger games because with
Hmm.
Chelsea have this they have this I don't know if you
We
noticed,
have a
but they have
point to
this
prove.
yeah, exactly, like you're going as underdogs, you're going with more okay. There's more. I feel in those games there's more focus from the players because they're looking at the stakes are higher. But in games against like Bournemouth away, you can be lulled into this false sense of security where okay we go there, we'll get the result, but you go there, you don't start well, you don't warm up well, you don't start the game well, you don't do the basics well. The next thing you know, in the Premier League, you already go down away from home, and that just snowballs into another situation. So with Chelsea, I feel Chelsea will get 3 points this weekend, but I can't
It's,
you
it's
can't take
never it's never a walk
I
in the
can't bank
park.
on it. I can't bank on it. So, but I believe Chelsea will get 3 points though. But as ever, I still can. With this new Chelsea, I'm still there's a lot of moving parts in terms of players going on international break, coming back, especially the South American guys. So it'll be interesting to see. But I think that's it for today. Thank you, Kingsley, for joining me on this quick Premier League or North London derby preview. And I hope you join us on our next recording to review the weekend's games and cover the games we just talked about as well. So yeah, thank you for joining me. Do you have any
Thank you.
word for our listeners?
Thank you, Frank. Thank you, team. Thanks everyone for connecting on today's podcast as well. And yeah, so don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe if you're not subscribing already, and if you want to enjoy interactive, organic discussions about what's going on in football, this is the channel for you. And
Yeah.
until then, continue to do good, and
Okay.
we look forward to the
Okay.
weekend game.
Thank
Take care,
you.
guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye guys. Bye.